we are arriving on the island of Crete this morning. Take a day of touring. Paul was here. We'll be talking about him again today. Overnight, we voyaged from Rhodes, which is just south of Turkey, to the island of Crete, where we just arrived this morning. St. Paul had some interesting things to say. He said he left Titus in Crete in order to set in order what remains and appoint bishops. And he also said that the Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, and lazy gluttons, and this testimony is true. Actually, he's quoting one of their own poets. Just so people can remember what it's like on the ship when they watch this movie later. You can either go up the stairs or the elevators. All the decks. Good morning. Oh, look who we meet coming on the elevator.
Good morning.
Oh, this isn't 8 yet. Okay. Look at all those stairs going down, down, down. 9 levels. And everywhere you can go out and see the outside. There you go. So we're already in Crete.
To walk you to the Catholic Church that's not far from here, and then after the mass, I'm going to lead the way back to the bus. It's going to be in another place, not here. So we're going to walk through the town to find the bus later and drive to Knossos, the archaeological site. Okay.
Kept in prison again in Rome for 2 years before Caesar heard his appeal. And while on the way from Jerusalem to Rome, he was chained to soldiers who were taking him as a prisoner, and they stopped on this island just for a couple days and moving on. But they made a mistake because most of them said we should stay here in Crete during the winter because it's safe in the harbor. But the soldiers and the others were in a hurry to get to Rome, so they said, no, we're going to keep going. And that's when Paul got in his 4th shipwreck and landed on the island of Malta. So that's the first time Paul was here, just as a prisoner passing through. Second time, after his 2 years in Rome, in prison, around 62 AD or so, he was released again for 5 years. And during those 5 years, he went traveling again. He went back to Corinth, he went to Ephesus. He established the church here, and he went all the way to Spain. So he was very busy in those 5 years. And it says that the only way we know that he was in Crete is that in the book of Titus, he's writing to Titus, he says, "For this reason, Titus, I left you in Crete, that you may set in order what remains and appoint bishops in every city as I directed you." So obviously he came here, traveled the island, established the churches, the Catholic Church, not independent Baptist churches. He established the Catholic Church in various locations, and he left Titus, who was one of his stalwart lieutenants. Titus was one of the stalwart, very solid, very stable, low-key, and very smart. And Paul sent him to missions where it was really a tough situation. And he needed someone that was very strong. And he left Titus here to be the bishop. Why? Because here is what Paul's opinion of the Cretans was. I hope the sacristan doesn't hear this. Paul writes to Titus, and as soon as he says, "I'm putting you as bishop," why? He said that there are many rebellious men there, empty talkers and deceivers, especially those among the Jews, who must be silenced because they're upsetting whole families, teaching things they should not teach for the sake of sordid gain. Now listen to this. One of themselves, a prophet of their own, a Cretan, said, "Cretans are always liars, evil beasts and lazy gluttons. This testimony of them is true," he says. "For this reason, reprove them severely, that they may be sound in the faith." Can you imagine somebody today saying that? The New Hampshire's folks are, can you imagine somebody making statements like that?
We can take it, Steve. We can take it.
People don't usually talk like that. But Paul is very earthy. He is very right up front and it's colorful language at times. But I just thought you'd like to know that. That was Crete, and that's why he left Titus here to straighten out the big problems, and you get to be here today. And I'm glad I'm not here to straighten out those kind of problems. I got good folks with me.
The Lord opened the gates of heaven and rained down manna upon them to eat, and gave them bread from heaven. And ate the bread of angels. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The Lord be with you. And with your spirit. Brothers and sisters, today is a burial day in the church. We have no particular saint celebrated by the Universal Church in our faith. All of you can drink from, for this is the chalice of my blood, the blood of the new and eternal covenant, which will be poured out for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins. Do this in memory of me.
Faith and charity of Pilgrim Church on earth, of your servant Francis, our Pope, Peter, our Bishop, the order of bishops, all clergy. Body of Francis, amen. Body of Francis.
Just leaving Mass, walking along the harbor, and there's our buses waiting for us right there. The Knossos Archaeological Site, the second most visited site in Greece, second only to the Acropolis and Parthenon. This is the second most visited. We're just arriving.
And in between there would be inserting vertical and horizontal wooden beams to tie the walls between them to render them more flexible to withstand earthquakes, earth tremors. So this is just an imitation, a good one. And you see the column. The column of Crete has got nothing to do with the main column of ancient Greece of the mainland, because somebody must have come up at first with the idea of a huge cypress tree upside down.
We had two excellent guides that took us on a tour of this Minoan city, which was in existence from around 2700 to 1600 BC. That's a long time ago, but they were very bright people with great paintings. They had toilets, they had water system for drainage, brilliant people. Part of them went over and became the Philistines, believe it or not, but enjoy the pictures of our group going through the site. Here is a reconstruction of one of their sports called the hunting of the bull, and there's also an olive tree there. But this was an original piece of art that they now made to reconstructed so that we can see it. Amazing. Over 4,000 years ago they were making these paintings. We concluded our tour with the restrooms again before we leave, and there's a nice gift shop with books and such, and people like to get that as something to remember this place and where they were, and a nice restaurant where you can get a coffee or a snack. lunch, they have a meeting here so everybody knows how to get off and what they see in Santorini, but also about disembarking the ship tomorrow. Very organized, but they're going to give instructions here right now.
Just picture this, it's just breathtaking, and it is huge. The reason I'm showing you the map is because I want you to see and to look at Santorini like the way I look at it.
As you can see, we're pulling out of port. We're leaving Crete behind, and now we're on our way to Santorini. Santorini is a volcano, and actually the area that we're going to come in is right in the center of the volcano. Hope it doesn't erupt today. So goodbye, Crete. We'll see you again in 2 years. Another excellent lunch on the ship, and here's some of our folks sitting there talking together. And now we're heading north from Crete to Santorini, where they'll have the afternoon and evening to enjoy this island. Houses up there, white houses on top of the mountain. There's the first boat down there loading up to take everybody over to the shore. You can walk up, you can ride donkeys, or if you look carefully here, you'll see the cable cars. There's about 6 of them coming down and others going up. What you see up on top of the ridge there are houses. I know it looks like snow, but it's not. These are the tender boats taking people back and forth between the ship and the shore. You can see the zigzag there, which is how you get up there on donkeys, or you can walk. Of course, they have cable cars too. And everybody is going up to that village there because that's the destination. Now, I'm not going up because I've been there enough times, but everybody's going up from the group. Going to have a great evening. Tomorrow, we get up early and we head to Athens for about 4 hours of free time in Athens before we go to the airport and fly to Thessaloniki, another biblical site. So have fun, everyone, on Santorini. And I'm going to close out tonight because we're pretty much done. When they get back, we're going to head back across the Mediterranean Sea to Athens. Good night, Santorini.